The Simpson family is humiliated in the city of Shelbyville, so they decide to do something about it, but they end up in a maximum security prison where Homer will be arrested for the absolutely terrible crime of kicking a can 5 times in a row. Wow. For the couch intro, we got the family rotating over the fiery grill like a kebab. The episode begins in the mercantile village of Shelbyville. The Simpson family is out strolling, visiting shops, which makes Marge very happy. Then they arrive at the theatre district of the city. Lisa wants to go see a play. Bart tells her not to say nonsense, that he doesn't want to get bored watching silly things. Homer says that to be fair, they will go see a play that Lisa doesn't want to see. Quickly, they check out the shows available. Marge is interested in seeing The Song of Shelbyville. The play is about some people singing about the good and beautiful things in the city, full of diversity, beautiful women and spectacular things. Without a doubt, the best place in the world. Finally, 2 guys come out asking if they are enjoying how great Shelbyville is. The audience applauds contently. At that moment, dirty Springfield Billy arrives. Wow, man, that's got to be racist. They ask him what he's doing there.
I came here for the legalized gambling.
They tell him that's not the case, but he says he thought that in Shelbyville, the games are free and everyone laughs at him.
They're saying Springfielders are stupid hicks. It's like looking in a mirror.
At the end of the play, they feel more sadness after hearing the continued laughter at the idiots of Springfield. Lisa, angry, yells at them that the residents of Springfield can be intelligent people, and she knows this well, because they are from that city. Everyone laughs at them. Even Homer takes their side. Marge, angry, tells the culture committee that the people Shelbyville are speaking badly about them, treating them like idiots. Principal Skinner suggests improving Springfield's image to show that they are indeed intelligent. Although the newspaper reported that Springfield panicked during an eclipse because the mayor thought God had stolen the sun, and as an offering, the mayor sent goats to the sky. Very smart crisis management. Marge starts thinking about what they can do. After saying a bunch of words without sense, she concludes that the great architect Frank Gehry could build them a concert hall like the one on the street in Los Angeles. Flanders responds that they need it because the Springfield Symphony plays in a basketball stadium and it's not going well for them.
Next time we're keeping it.
They agree to ask Frank to build them the hall. The next day, Frank receives the request by mail. It says, please build a concert hall for the city of Springfield. It may not be the best city or the cleanest, but they were the first to abandon the metric system. Well, at least that's something. Although the old man doesn't care and throws the letter away, but the thrown paper gives him an idea. Then he shows the city's concert hall, commenting that it will happen thanks to a girl who sent him the letter. Marge shouts that she was the one who wrote it. The old man responds that she has very bad spelling.
You wrote I was the bestest architect in the world?
Well, aren't you?
The mayor, who asks if they agree to spend $30 million on something they don't need. Everyone agrees, so they quickly begin construction with brute force. A few days later, there is already more progress, although the crooks misuse it. The Simpson family prepares for the inauguration. Snowball sits on Homer's pants. He tries to get it off, but it's too heavy. The cat has gained a lot of weight, so he asks the kids what's wrong with the cat. Lisa responds that the cat isn't fat, that it's just its winter coat.
Okay, she's fat.
Lisa can't breathe, and the cat refuses to get off. They move on to the grand opening. Marge comments that she's very happy, that it feels like she's giving birth to her metal child. The band begins to play, but the audience gets bored. No one likes listening to that type of music.
The symphony she's just started.
So, we already heard the dum-dum-dum-dum.
Marge asks them not to leave, that the next piece will be a beautiful medley, but that makes them run out even faster, and even the band ends up leaving. At that moment, we see time pass, and no one uses the music hall until it falls into ruins. Man, $30 million wasted, which enrages the mayor. He yells at everyone, calling them idiots, and asks why they didn't tell him they didn't like classical music. They respond that they didn't give them time, that they built it too fast. The mayor tells them they are now broke, but that they'll change the name of the city so the debt collectors won't find them. These are the proposals from Springfield's residents.
Lima, Peru. Gotham City. Wiggumville.
Burger King!
Old Man Monty tells them he has the solution. If they give him the concert hall, he'll pay off the debts. Quickly, they agree, and the building becomes his. That same day, he puts a sign saying that it will be the future state prison of Old Man Monty, which Marge doesn't like. To make things worse, the people from Shelbyville arrive to mock them. They start the construction and the hiring of security personnel. They must know Microsoft PowerPoint and sadism, which sounds pretty accurate. There we find out that Homer barely finished high school and loves the brawl, which makes him seem quite crazy.
Mr. Simpson, I like the way you go nuts over nothing.
They tell him the job is perfect for him. He just has to pass a drug test to make sure he's not putting junk in his body. Otto finishes the test, and we see his sample is highly contaminated. To keep the job, he switches the test with Homer's. The next day, Old Man Monty tells Homer that he's never seen so many illegal substances in someone's blood, that it's full of all sorts of things, even horse tranquilizers.
There must have been a mistake. My body is a temple.
Monty asks the guards to throw Homer out of the prison, which makes him feel terrible. Back home, the kids are surprised to see the cat is very fat, even though they feed it low-fat food. Lisa comments that she's sure the cat is getting food somewhere else, that they should follow it. Bart responds that he'd prefer to follow the dog, thinking it's up to something. But first, they go see what the cat is up to. Snowball goes to a house, takes off its collar, and scratches the door. It turns out Snowball has another family, which makes the kids sad. Meanwhile, Old Man Monty explains that the prison is losing money and needs more people arrested. Chief Wiggum says they can increase arrests by enforcing some old, forgotten laws. He dusts off the book.
It's unlawful for a man to be hatless during daylight hours.
That night, Homer is angry, saying that Old Man Monty is an idiot. Homer kicks a can while shouting that all his friends are security guards except him. Chief Wiggum reads the new regulation.
5 kicks of the same can shall be considered illegally transporting litter.
Since Homer kicks it 5 times, he's arrested, and the can is sent to be heavily photographed and fitted with lights. Once in prison, they give Homer a good bath to disinfect him. Hours later, we see Snake climb the wall. There's no prison in the world that can stop him. He falls into the trash, but before he can escape, Homer comments that the man might be hurt, so he asks the guards to check on him, leading to his arrest again. They tell Homer he did a good job ratting that guy out. The commander offers Homer a full-time snitching rat. In the next scene, Homer tells the chief he doesn't want to be a snitch, that it's a miserable life. The chief tells him to relax, saying if he accepts, he'll get a private cell, extra, dessert, and a nice hat that makes him look tough and stylish. Since Homer keeps refusing, they tell him if he doesn't accept, he won't leave the prison alive. With no other option, Homer accepts. In the shower, he sees the boxer's tattoos, realizing he was in a gang as a child and carries them on his skin. Homer reports to the chief that the guy has an unauthorized tattoo. Hours later, as a reward, they bring Homer a 42-inch plasma TV, which, by the way, this episode was aired in 2003, so that TV was the big thing at that time. While the boxer is punished in solitary confinement for having a forbidden prison tattoo, and he will go without food. Meanwhile, Snowball's other owners complain about her horrible smell. Lisa faces the kids. The boy doesn't care. He says the cat's name is Smokey and belongs to him. At that moment, she realizes Snowball does tricks, is very obedient, and apparently doesn't want Lisa but prefers her new owners, which makes her very sad. Back at the Springfield State Prison, Fat Tony tells his men they need to find the prison rat. Johnny says there's no need to search because he's right beside them. Everyone starts arguing because they all have animal nicknames. Marge goes to visit Homer and gets excited because he gave her a beautiful and expensive gold heart. She asks him how he could afford it. In a mysterious and secretive voice, Homer tells her that he is an informant. Marge asks if he has ever seen what happens to the snitching rats in movies, but Homer says he doesn't know because he always falls asleep. Marge tells him that informants get killed.
Because you're the prison snitch.
Nice one, Marge. That was a very good snitch move.
What are you dubs looking at? You never seen bling bling before?
Meanwhile, the kids wonder what's so special about the other family that makes Snowball stay with them. Bart says they'll find out and rings the doorbell. He tells the lady that their little turtle went into her basement through a window. Back in prison, Homer is happily reading about criminals when Snake tells him that there will be a breakout that night. Homer quickly tells the commander about the escape plan. When Bart returns from the house, he tells Lisa that the place is amazing. They have a jukebox, lots of delicious food, and they've even taught him some tricks. At the prison, all the guards are on alert, waiting for the escapees to ambush them, but the commander senses something is off because normally there's a certain electricity in the air when a breakout is about to happen. Homer Relaxing in front of his TV, overhears people planning to kill the rat. Suddenly, the cell doors open, they rush towards Homer, but he manages to escape and calls Marge, telling her they're after him because he's a snitch, and that she was right. Cornered with no other options, Homer jumps overboard. Kent Brockman reports that a riot has broken out in the old Monty State Penitentiary, and thermal cameras show a red glow, which is the group of prisoners hunting down informant Homer Simpson, who is seen as a large blob trying to hide in the kitchen area. At that moment, Marge arrives. Homer, shocked, asks how she got in, and she reveals she kept a spare key. Fat Tony breaks down the door, shouting that they'll finish off the filthy rat. Homer grabs Marge and says they'll be safe in the gas chamber, locking themselves in and blocking the door. Marge begs him to look at the faces of the poor men whose lives he ruined by snitching on them. The prisoners, with all their strength, are on the verge of breaking down the door. Homer takes advantage of what he thinks are his last moments to apologize to Marge for dragging her into this, tells her he loves her, and gives her a big kiss while the prisoners stare at them. Luckily, at that exact moment, tear gas is fired, and reinforcements arrive along with the governor. Old Monty declares that he will punish all the criminals with his full power. Homer asks Monty to chill out and pleads with the governor to listen, admitting that he did wrong by abusing his powers as an informant, but now wants to make things right. He exposes the terrible conditions of the prison, saying they are fed mysterious meat that could be from animals or even people, and the guards mistreat them day and night.
When I was a boy, I saw my father murdered before my eyes. By me.
Marge adds that the fair thing to do would be to release these prisoners. As a result, the prisoners are put on a garbage barge, and that becomes their new home. That night, Homer tells Marge he missed watching her sleep peacefully, but what he really missed was sneaking off to Moe's Tavern. On the way, he runs into Snowball, ending this great prison story. Just like the time Mr. Burns went to jail and had to face all the dangers of prison, if you want to see what happens, click on this video, but not before you click on those like and subscribe buttons.